everybody, Diane here. We're going to talk about chakra vikasana, and this is a pose that is also known as cat-cow, or sometimes purring cat and angry cat. But whatever you call it, it's one of the best things that you could do for your back, and you can do it in so many different positions. So let's start lying on our back, in the middle of the mat, feet flat on the mat, knees bent. Heels are in line with the sit bones. Press the feet down. Reach the arms up and overhead. We're rolling on the pelvis. We're reaching the tailbone away from us. This is the cow. And then reversing this, arms come overhead, and we're rolling on the pelvis, pressing the low back firmly down into the mat. This is our cat. So you can see how I'm rolling on the pelvis, reaching back into the cow. The low back is pulling away from the mat. And as I reverse the roll, I'm pressing the low back into the mat. So it's a process of, with the cow, moving the hip points away from the shoulders, and then as we come into the cat, reaching the hip points toward the shoulders. And this can also be done in bed, first thing in the morning or last thing at night. But maybe you'd like to do it in a different position. So let's go on to all fours. Wrists are under the shoulders. Knees are under the hips. Feet pressing into the mat, the tops of the feet. Watch how the roll of the hip is the same. Now we're reaching the tailbone up and back, reaching the belly button down toward the mat, increasing the curve of that low spine, reaching the center of the chest out toward the front of the mat, and the crown of the head to the wall in front of me. Cow. Curling the tailbone, tucking that imaginary tail between the legs, arching or rounding the back deeply, pulling the belly button in toward the spine, dropping the head, looking at the wall behind me through the space that I've made with the legs. So you see it's the same action. But maybe I don't want to do cat-cow on all fours today. Maybe I want to do it seated. So I could take that same position, bent knees, feet pressing down into the mat. I'm still curling on the pelvis. So I'm rounding my back, pulling my belly button toward the spine, relaxing my head. Now I'm looking at the space between my legs at the mat. Cat. Reversing it, rolling on the pelvis, reaching the center of the chest toward the front of the room. Cow. Same action in the spine. Completely different position. But you know what? Maybe I do not want to be on the floor, but I still want to get the benefit of this. So I come on up to my chair, and I'll turn it sideways so you can see it better. Grabbing onto the sides of my chair, pressing down into the mat with my feet. My knees are still bent. You notice that's a constant. Rolling on my pelvis. Reaching my tailbone up toward the back of the chair. The belly button reaching up and out. Center of the chest reaching up and out. Cow. on my pelvis, curling the tailbone, imaginary tail between the space in my leg. Now I'm looking at the space between my legs, which is the chair seat. So I'm rolling back and forth from my cow in the chair to my cat in the chair. But you know what? Maybe I don't have a chair. Maybe I'm standing in line. Maybe I'm standing. What can I do? My feet are hips distance apart. Bending my knees deeply, you can see. Maybe I'm holding on to something, like a chair. Or the palms can be on the thighs. Tilting my tailbone up and away. Now my belly is reaching between my legs. And reversing this now. And now I'm looking at the floor through the space between my legs. So I'm rolling the pelvis just the same way, one vertebra at a time, from my cow pose to my cat. So you see, these are only a few of the variations that you can use with Chakravakasana, the cat-cow, or purring cat and angry cat. And again, it's a wonderful thing to do for your spine. And if you only have time for one yoga pose a day, this is the one. Thank you for listening and watching. Namaste, my friends.